Here we go.
Hey, buddy. How are you today?
I'm surviving. How about you?
I'm good. Worried about my pals in the Ukraine. And although I heard we're supposed to say Ukraine now, not the Ukraine. I don't know.
Yeah.
Am I freezing up on you?
A tiny bit, but it's everybody just, they get a good look at us already. And then they really just listen to us.
Yeah, because who wants to keep looking at us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry. You'll never hit the bar, but we've set. So when you guys get old, you're going to be old and fat and everything, and you're not going to look like us. Bald too. You'll be bald. So.
Joe starts the show off going after the audience.
Yeah, it's all the miso soup. All my elitist Whole Foods.
Did you see the tweet from?
No,
I think it was Dennis.
What did he say?
Dude, you got to start getting active on Twitter.
I'm sorry, man. I'll be logged in right now.
He tagged you. You're Joe Cawley 5, right?
Yeah, that's me, man.
He tagged you on a tweet about your miso soup.
Oh shit! I'm going in now. Hold on.
That was good.
Where the fuck is it? Okay, I already have it. Sign in.
So we got a war. I'm gonna just say a few things. We're not gonna stay on this shit the whole show because that's not why people tune in. Although I had somebody say, I'm level-headed and honest in my opinions. So I've never been called level-headed before, which was an awesome comment. So, and apologies to everyone. I actually didn't upload yesterday's episode to the podcast feed. So you guys are going to get the double header bonus today and tomorrow. Couple of quick notes. I'm ranting on people on Twitter who are claiming that the reason for this war and the justification for Putin, this is coming from the far right television personalities. It's coming from a number of other folks who are, I'll just say, right apologists, and have of late in the last few years been mouthpieces for Putin.
Yep.
They are making the claim that what was it, 2008, 2009, we said, hey, you're on the whitelist, Ukraine, for NATO, but we actually never did it. They're claiming that that's his justification for war, and it makes it okay because of that. First of all,
because Obama did it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, of course that's why. The black man did it. The bottom line on this is he has made perfectly clear over and over again that all he wants is the Soviet Union back. And that's not just Ukraine. That's Poland. That's the whole fucking band back together again. And it's just fucking ridiculous. So bottom line is it's an act of war. He's a murderous dictator. I'm hoping eventually the Russian people wake up. I'm hoping that the suffering and starvation they're going to feel, unfortunately not their own doing except for reelecting this piece of shit, will make them wake up and bounce him from office. I don't know if that's possible, but anyway, just stop making shit up, people. It just makes you look like a complete fucking idiot. So, well,
everybody wants an excuse. I can't find the notification of the tag. I'll find it eventually, but everybody just wants an excuse, and we're gonna see. Yep. I mean, I see pictures of, I know that Russians can't hit the side of a fucking stadium with their missiles, let alone a barn. But, I saw 4 ballistic missiles getting fired out of Belarus into Ukraine, all the other shit. I would pop Belarus right fucking now.
Yeah, me too, except I have friends there. So it's like,
I'm not saying those people. I'm saying hit some of the Belarus
hit some military
units. Yeah. Because it's not in Russia. And it's not in Ukraine. So, or
exactly.
Send up the drone fleets and let's just, start popping hellfires on these bitches. No disrespect to women on that one. Sorry. That was just me. I would usually use a word like wussy or wimp or maybe the P word, but, let's just do them. And, let's close the Dardanelles Straits. I got a bunch of cool imagery I wanted to pop up when we start sharing screen. But look, this is if you look at what's going on with crypto, ETH and BTC have almost gotten to the recovery point from where it dumped at 10 o'clock last night, 10 p.m.
I thought we were going to have full on fucking capitulation. I stayed up till like 1:30 Of course, I get up at 6, so that's not the healthiest move for a man in his 50s. But I thought for sure I was going to wake up to, mid 20s.
Well, and I'm looking at support levels. Just Binance. I mean, there's just shitloads on ETH. At 2000, there's 30 million. At 2100, there's 18 million. At 2200, there's 25 million. There's 12 million at 2300. There's 18 at 1800, 25 at 1900, and 12 at 17. I mean, there's such a buy wall sitting there to support it. And on BTC, again, this is just Binance. Lots of volume sitting there. It's a little bit harder for me to see it all here because, it's a higher priced one, but a ton of volume sitting there to buy, and it's steadily recovering. So there's buying going on. I did also notice the Russian stock market cratered this morning, down 45%, ruble all-time low. NASDAQ's recovered. It's in positive territory now, U.S. NASDAQ. And then, the big ones, the lending companies, Sberbank, one point was off 57% of the value. Rosneft off 58%. Gazprom down 40%. And they're all waiting on a bailout, which, let's do it. Let's drain those foreign currency reserves over there and just keep shorting the shit out of these people.
Yeah.
And everybody's been dumping rubles. So, it's costly. You can fire a few missiles and kill some people and roll the tanks, which I don't even know where they are at this point. I haven't seen any good graphics on
I've seen I've seen a couple of blown up tanks, which was nice. And I saw some downed planes and helicopters. So, it's not, look, they wanted to set the tone last night that it was over with in an hour and a half. And unfortunately, I noticed a lot of folks parroting that propaganda. I'm really hoping that what Ukraine did was said, fuck it, let's just suck them in. They're going to bombard us anyway. Let's let them come in through the borders, be out of the way, suck them in and trap them as they try to take the closer border towns. I don't know if that's happening or not, but we'll see. You've got a better military background than I do, Joe. So,
Ukrainians have fought a couple of big insurgencies in the past, and Ukraine's win. I mean, it always reminds me of that Seinfeld episode when they're playing Risk and Kramer's got the Risk board in the subway train. And he's like, "Oh, just take the Ukraine. The Ukraine's weak." And the Ukrainian guy turns around and goes, "Ukraine no weak. Ukraine strong." And he's like knocks the board off. And I'm like, and then the Ukrainians are tough, tough people. So
yeah, they've been through a lot of shit.
They ain't going to fold on this one. And it's a perfect strategy. You lure them in. Putin's got almost all of his forces around the Ukraine. I'm personally advocating for a flanking maneuver, not just in Belarus.
Go ahead. I was going to say something similar.
Go ahead. You go. I'll say
No. I love the idea of having his attention diverted there and then coming at him on another angle.
Because when they suck all those resources in, and then now you're kind of like, okay, you can't defend Eastern Siberia, and so or the Arctic. So I've got some charts up of Russian oil fields, which is probably what a lot of this is about, or is going to be about here very, very soon. Let me see how I share this screen again. Pop these up real fast because I think this explains a lot. I just had to cut and paste some stuff, but let's see what we can. This isn't the one I really want. I want this one up here. Okay, so look right here. Everybody see this one? Okay. I don't think I'm in Word, just pasted, but these are the pipelines that they've been building to funnel stuff to China. And these are the two main offloading platforms. And this is the gas network mainly. But this is Sakhalin Peninsula, which, interesting, is in a territorial dispute with Japan over borders drawn either at the end of World War II or after the Russia-Japan War in 1899-ish. And then Vladivostok, these are the offloading ports. So look, flip the switch for Japan, say, hey, go nuclear, we don't give a shit, and blockade these ports and cut off that shit going out of the east. And then here's the pipeline so you can see. So I'm sure that when you look at this is where most of this West Siberian oil field is where most of it is. But look at these oil fields over here. So, to me, I think I start making moves in Eastern Siberia and also in the Arctic. Because look up here, see all these gas field and exploration projects? I start moving forces there and I hit Eastern Siberia, they cannot do shit at that point because they got everybody over here. Almost like all their mechanized units are there. And then you look at, see if I can get this bigger.
Which is why he keeps making ominous threats, because he knows that if anybody comes at him from a different direction, he's fucked.
Yeah. So here's Alaska. So that's
what he would do.
This is this is the one we're going to be taking. And this is Greenland.
Can you wait real quick.
I can't clear it.
Can you point to Sarah Palin's house on there?
I think she's probably right around here because she said she could see across those 80 miles, I think, or however wide that, what is that strait called? I can't remember, but the strait in between. But look, so here's where there's a whole bunch of other stuff in this area, but this is all open season on anything here. So I say, hey, let's start moving in this area, start taking this shit and flank them, because from here to Moscow, again, it's like a fucking 20-minute missile ride. So, you do some moves that are in the gray area, that Putin likes to play in so much, and you divert his attention to other areas. Because, we can't be like raining missiles down on Moscow, and I don't think we should at this point be directly engaging with Russian military. But here in Syria, you can. We close the Dardanelles Strait, bottleneck his whole fleet in here in the Black Sea. And this is where Tartus is, where the Russian base in Syria, and the Minsk is usually, that big tub cruiser is usually somewhere around here. You could take out Tartus and you could smoke the Wagner group again. I mean, we did 300 of them a few years ago. We might as well do 1,000 and just put a pain on him.
Do you think the sanctions are going to include blocking Russian ships today?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Because
I think if you're going to put
heard that it was under discussion, but I don't know.
I think, again, you just go, it's just like the SWIFT thing, or it's just like, I'm sure we have the capability to just flip the power off over there on the whole fucking country. Yeah. It's the response that I think we have to think through, because that'll go all full on cyber world war. And everybody can do, we know that's a mess everywhere, but I think SWIFT, I don't know about embargoing ships at this point. It's definitely a possibility, but I would certainly choke off the Dardanelles Strait. Turkey right here, Greece right here, that's doable. And then nothing gets out. So they've been piling, because they got that port in Crimea, Sevastopol, which sort of started this whole thing. And, in my mind that, if they're all bottled up there, then they can't get out and do shit in the Mediterranean or get out into open water. And we could do the same thing right here at this choke point. And then we also, get Finland into NATO. They're talking about joining, and then choke off Murmansk right here. So, I think those are the moves. It's just how far do we want to go at this point?
Right.
And I think, again, that the Ukrainians can fight a massive insurgency against these guys. Unfortunately, a lot of them will die that way. But
the bottom line is this: look, this man is out mass murdering an independent the citizens and troops of an independent country. Look, he's did you see the Ukrainian comment last night? The Ukrainian ambassador to the United Nations, what he said?
No, I saw
something along the lines
of a speech right when he invaded or something like that.
Yeah, it's something along the lines of the Ukrainian ambassador said there is no purgatory for war criminals. They go straight to hell. And this is the Security Council, which is headed by ding, 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 Russia. So anyway, by the way, there actually is some discussion happening about unseating Russia from the Security Council.
Really?
Because they were never officially, when they went from Soviet Union and the new country, Russia, there was never the official process in the United Nations for recognizing Russia on the Security Council. So that would be fun too.
That would be cool. Yeah. I could deal with that. I would like to see that, because they've been a fucking nuisance forever.
Well, please.
And
there's not a dictator he doesn't love.
Yeah.
Okay. Real quick, I got it. You said the name Vladivostok, so I want to tell a story.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so my buddy Richie, was in I guess when he finished college. This must have been late. When did the wall fall?
I think it was 89-ish, right around there. 88, 89.
So my buddy finishes college and he decides he wants to do the Peace Corps thing, right? and he is the first batch of Peace Corps volunteers being sent to Russia to teach them capitalism, right? So tell me that's not a train wreck already. So he proceeds to get stationed. They don't tell him before he gets there, but he gets stationed in Vladivostok. Now, Vladivostok is a fucking ridiculously brutal place. So brutal that there's actually a lake there. I guess it's a lake where there is a Soviet nuclear sub that sank, and they didn't bother trying to recover it from the bottom of the lake. So it's just a brutal place. So his job is, he's positioned in the mayor's office. His job is to teach capitalism to the former Soviet Union citizens who have just, gone from communism to what the fuck is going on here. And he of course runs into roadblocks everywhere. And one of his first meetings is, the local mafia comes to make sure he doesn't fuck with their cash flow. So he's a big drinker, but nobody's a big drinker from America when they go to Russia. You just can't keep up, right? So he goes to this bar one night, and in front of the bar are 5 Range Rovers. And he goes into the bar, and he's drinking with all the Russians and trashed as hell. He had a buddy with him, another American. He's trashed as hell, goes in the bar. He grabs a girl to start dancing with her, starts dancing with this girl. And while he's dancing with her, this big motherfucker comes up to him and just lays him out, punches the shit out of him. Turns out the girl is the boyfriend of one of the mafia dudes that owns the Range Rovers in the front of the bar. So his buddy drags his ass out of the bar, and his buddy is so angry, he picks up a metal bar and starts bashing in the windshields and the headlights of the Range Rovers. Needless to say, my buddy's lucky to be alive, because the two of them were beaten to hell and back and thrown into some kind of junkyard. He sent me photos. He looked like a pig on a spit after it's been on there for like 2 hours.
Ouch. Yeah, you don't really want to cross with those guys. Yeah. It might have been better to throw a pack of matches into the gas tank.
It might have been better just to gone home and licked your fucking wounds.
Yeah, but also when you're in like Vladivostok and you're showing up in a place that has like no money, and you show up and there's 5 Range Rovers, you kind of know what you're getting into.
You know where the money's from.
Yeah, anyway. I kind of did a lot of partying in China like that. Their bottoms-up culture, where they just get shit-faced to the point of puking everywhere. And, so we would come in, and I brought him a designated drinker with me, someone who can just pound the stuff. And we were at this table, and these guys were
a ringer.
Yeah, I brought a ringer. And so here's the story. This is a great story. All right. So we're at the table, and these guys were totally connected in some ways, but everybody you're not connected to like mafia type stuff, but I mean government mafia type stuff or whatever. But
the whole thing is a mafia.
They're all that way. So so we're at a table drinking, and they're like, all of a sudden there's like 6 people, and there's me and my guy, and so they're all going 1-to-1 shots, and so all of a sudden I'm realizing as it's going around the table, shit, I'm going to be doing 6 shots, and these fuckers are only doing 1 each. And so then my partner says, no, hold this. This is the way we roll in America. And he puts 5 shot glasses in front of everybody and himself. And so he fills them all up, and he goes, instead of going 1-to-1, if one does 1, everybody does 1. So he just proceeds to do 5 shots in a row.
Holy shit.
And then they're trying to keep up. Well, one guy ended up in the fucking hospital with like liver failure because they OD on certain types of liquor. You always want them to drink brown liquor because it just fucks with them. And so he's in the hospital, and then another guy. And so then, they had to quit on us. They couldn't keep going. And then we did another roll of 5 shots.
Oh,
so we put them onto the table. And, most Americans, when they go over there, are afraid to drink with the Chinese. So they feign diabetes, which means, you don't have to drink. So we were the few that would just go and get shit faced with them.
Well, they must have loved you.
Oh yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Except for the guy you almost killed.
Yeah. Well, that same driver later on was driving and did run over 4 people. And so I was like, of course, this is the way I talk English in China. But I was like, where ding? And they're like, oh, ding, in big trouble. Now this is like, again, Chinese talking English. And
I get it.
They don't, I'm not trying to be racist.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, big trouble. What happened? And they're like, oh yeah, ran over 4 people last night. He's in jail. So I got to go get him out. And I'm like, oh, yeah, how you do that? He goes, oh, he's just got to negotiate. And so 3 days later, he's out of jail. And I'm like, well, just out of curiosity, how much did that cost? He's like, oh, $4,000 a body. And I'm like, wow, all right.
Shit.
So, that's the way it runs. Everybody that wants to bitch about the U.S. and how shitty you have it and all of this, that's the way it works in China.
Yeah.
The peasants don't have a shot at anything.
Yeah.
And they're just cannon fodder or meat for the grinder. And it's the same in Russia. They don't have a shot. They don't get educated. I mean, other than on their own, they have no shot at any decent life. And they're consistently just shit on by the elites. So I always invite people that want to complain about our elites.
Yeah.
Go try somewhere else. Go try India and see what they do.
Yeah.
I mean, they just fucking kill these kids. So, it's just nasty all around, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do to like try to get a deal across the end zone, but goal line. So,
okay.
Is your friend okay now? Is your buddy okay?
Oh yeah. He's all good, man. He's
got a second liver transplant.
That was a long fucking time ago.
Yeah. All right.
Actually, I won't say that. I'm not going to disclose his personal health issues on the, he brought home some stuff from Russia. Let's just say
he was getting on those dirty Russian girls. Huh? Yeah. Yes. Russian, have some good looking people over there. That's for sure.
Yeah. So, I saw this survey yesterday on Block Crypto. More than 3/4 of surveyed family offices see benefits in crypto. Wealth management survey by BNY Mellon. So, you're always talking about the fact that, this shit's lining up and it's coming. And, the survey involved 200 participants. Now, this isn't billions of dollars. They manage about 150 million in assets. But, if they're doing it, then it's a very good likelihood that every other kind of management firm is also seeing that as well. So, anyway.
Yeah. There's a lot of those family office networks running around, and there's a lot more money in there than I think people think.
Yeah.
Because it goes into private equity too and other types of hedgy investments. But that's, if family offices are saying it, it's, this is what BlackRock's been saying for 5 years, as far as I know, or 3 years, 0.5 point in crypto to diversify. Yep. Just like they say with gold, a point or two, whatever.
Yep.
But, you need things that are separate from currency. So I think it's just another thing of consumer uptake,
looks like the SEC is going to do the accredited investor dance again starting in April. I believe there's a way for, I'll look for the link, but I think there's a way to submit comment on it. You may have to wait till April when it opens. But there should be no limits, Frank, as far as I'm concerned. I know you have a little bit of difference on that, but from my perspective, you want to invest your money, invest your fucking money. So
I saw that link. I didn't get a chance to read the article, and I was like, "What were the key takeaways from?"
They're not saying. Here's what the articles focus on. The articles focus is that they may limit it further, right? So they may make it more stringent qualifications than less. And if they do, that the point of the article was that widens the equity gap for minorities, people of color, people who are minorities, people who have not qualified under the accreditation status to be able to invest and make money. And so currently, and there's a lot of studies that says, look, accredited investors are primarily white people, and it doesn't open the door to people to be able to gain wealth. And so that was the thrust of the article, is that if they tighten this up even more, it's going to be worse. So,
yeah, look, every Series A deal I got in pretty much went in the shitter. So those were accredited investor deals.
Yeah.
So
at the bottom of the line, they're no fucking smarter than the rest of us. So
yeah. So I mean, usually from an administrative standpoint, you want people writing bigger checks so you have less shareholders to manage.
Yeah.
But I thought that like the Jobs Act did a lot of getting around that for people in the crowdfunding space, or crowdsourcing money for investments outside of a Series A. But then I realized there's still a lot of paperwork you have to file, SEC and all of that. So, I don't know. I guess everybody has more money now too. So that's why they're raising the limits. But I would say most of the stuff that you see, Series A, accredited investor stuff, it's probably not stuff that you want to be in anyhow, because all the best stuff is cherry picked by the top VC firms and anointed. So unless you've got money in Klein or NEA, Sequoia, those places, most of the other shit you see, like the stuff in DC area or Raleigh, Durham, Research Park area, or anywhere else, they're pretty much stuff that couldn't get funded in the Valley or New York or Boston area. Yep. So it's not the top tier deals. So to me, I'm kind of like, I don't do any of that anymore myself. Right. So I haven't had the big winner. I do better getting in like just pre-IPO or something like that. Somewhere where it's going to get into the public markets than waiting 7 years for somebody to either hit a home run or fuck it all up.
Exactly. I'm a user of 1Password. I don't know if you use a password manager like that, Joe, but it's a huge time saver, productivity enhancement tool. And I was very interested to see an article saying that 1Password was going to start enabling direct support for wallet security. So in other words, rather than having a separate login for your wallet, it would store the credentials and or secure key in an encrypted fashion, which is very exciting to me because I think we need it. And it actually, the key is that it would allow average users not used to using a wallet, but that may be 1Password users, in their family account to manage their passwords or whatever, easily be able to manage kind of access to the wallet and approving things. So that was exciting. And I thought, let me go check this out. Well, interestingly enough, I don't understand motivations, but interestingly enough, 1Password did not choose the number one, DeFi wallet by users, probably by volume in the world, MetaMask. They chose the Phantom wallet on Solana for their first integration. Maybe they're trying to control the number of initial users they have to support with it. And so they went for something with a smaller slice of the DeFi pie. I just thought it was a strange selection in terms of integration of that platform. But they said that they are going to be integrating with a lot more platforms. And I think that holds a lot of promise. Obviously, it creates a potential security, a slightly weaker security solution. But from my perspective, it makes it more secure because you are everything in 1Password is encrypted. You don't have to worry about it. I create a really long, complex, random password for mine, next to impossible for anyone to guess. And so I'd feel actually a lot more secure. So anyway, that's the other piece of news that I had so far. Joe, what else you got? Anything?
Well, it's interesting, and back to Ukraine. This is a 4-minute-old story, but that
4 minutes.
Yeah, so we get all the best news quick. But now USDT is selling at at $1.09 in Ukrainian exchange. So, if you want to make some money, move some USDT. What exchange is it? I think, it's Kuna.
Wow.
So it's up to 32 Ukrainian hryvnia, and which
9% gain on your USDT holdings.
So it's priced at $1.09 right now. So that's an interesting.
Damn.
As high at $1.10. So, so basically, people are selling and going into USDT. I don't know if they onboard fiat to do that, but I thought that was pretty interesting. Just pulled it up. Something else I saw that was kind of intriguing. Where was it? It's just taking a while for this one to load. What was this thing? No. Well, just a lot of stuff on NFTs and now Russia government. This is a couple of days ago. It says that they put the crypto bill to Parliament over central bank objections. But this is mainly about, tanks and prices and, plunging in crypto. So nothing super exciting. We all know that. But do you have a material indicators fire chart you could pull up by any chance?
I don't, because I haven't logged in since we talked about it. But I'll try to do that for tomorrow's show.
I'll pull this one up. And you
real quick note. Looks like mass spread of COVID-19 at ETH Denver. I saw Dennison Bertram of Vote Tally report that he and his entire team are positive for COVID. And just reading an article here in Cointelegraph that said there was no vaccine mandate nor masks. And so it was basically a free-for-all of viral spread. So anyway, we may see a little slowdown in the dev side of things. Hopefully for most people, it's like everybody else. It's Omicron and it's minor effects. But here we are.
Yeah. Also, hey, Chuck put up the thing about the documentary Active Measures, which I watched the first 20 minutes of it this morning. And, I recommend everyone should watch this.
Yeah.
'Cause it talks about the KGB playbook and recruiting Western assets and, how all the ex-KGB and organized crime figures were let out of jail when there was a visa change, I think, in the 90s, and they all fled it to Brighton Beach, and just what's happened there with the mafia class.
Yeah.
But it's a very, very, and how it influences U.S. politics. It's a very, very interesting watch so far. It's a couple hours long. It's got some, major figures in there talking, and, the ex-U.S. ambassador, some ex-CIA guys, and blah, 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 talking about, KGB protocols and methods. So I recommend reading that. So look, I want to pop up this fire chart. And
real quick. Dogecoin lead developer resigned. Couldn't take the stress anymore yesterday. So that's going to make things a little unsure for Doge. I don't know what their price is trading at right now, but I don't know if people are reacting to that or not.
I think I saw them weren't they back down in like the 10-cent range recently?
Let me see. I haven't been paying attention.
I know that they fell out of the top 10. They're like 13 or something like that.
I don't like following the 13.
Yeah. So
11.7 cents.
Yeah, there you go. And Shibu is also way down.
Yeah, a bit of a dip yesterday.
Yeah, but look at these market cap numbers are just absurd for those.
Yeah.
So this is the kind of stuff everything's gonna correct a little bit. S&P is correcting. I think it's officially a correction, which I think more than 10% over some amount of days. The Russian stock exchange is correcting. It's off like 35% today. Crypto's corrected a little bit. So I think these are healthy because then there's a reason for people to sell.
Yeah.
It's like, oh shit, let's sell. And they sell, and then it goes down, and then everybody goes, oh, it's a buying opportunity. It's these like slow bleeds that just aren't good. When it goes, that's when people come pouring back in. So I think these are good maneuvers. And I also heard one thing more, that now the Fed's rethinking the whole interest rate thing at this point.
Yeah.
So there's at the max, as I've heard, is possibly 25 bips, maybe nothing next month, depending upon what needs to be done to support the market. So that, I think, is why you see a lot of the, sort of the crypto recovery thing too.
Did you see the Sotheby's rug pull yesterday?
No, I didn't.
Some dude had 104 CryptoPunks, and he was offering them to Sotheby's to sell starting at 30 million. And like an hour before the auction, he yanked it.
So he didn't get money for it.
No, he refused. No, it wasn't a true rug. It was just funny.
Okay.
He actually tweeted about it. He's an anon guy, but Sotheby's obviously did all the investment work and everything else to get it set up and prepared and promoted. And he basically said, nah, never mind.
Yeah.
Which part of me he's laughing at. The other part of me is like, what a dick. It's I don't know.
Well,
I'm like torn.
What's CryptoPunk price today? I bet he might be regretting that move.
He may be. I don't know. I mean, he had 104 of them. So, whatever.
Well, those are the kind of things to me that very easily could go to zero.
Yeah.
Sometime, because there is nothing there. It's just a picture.
Yeah.
And it's a cult. It's a club.
Well, I mean, I think it's fair to say that there is a cultural significance to them, right? They were one of the first. I think there's importance from that perspective.
Yeah.
I think holding 104 of them is just fucking stupid. I guess it's not stupid. He's made a bloody fortune on the value, but from an art perspective, it makes zero sense. None. But from a perspective of an investment, yes, and the cultural importance of it, you know a lot more about art than I do, but for me personally, there's art that I may not like that I know is important historically or culturally that, you know,
Yeah.
I have to recognize that personally. So,
well, I mean, I think there's pop culture significance. As far as the quality of it, obviously it's pixelated, right? Aren't they the pixelated ones?
yeah,
too?
yeah. It's the little guys, you know,
Yeah. So,
kind of defiant, rebellious CryptoPunks.
yeah, I mean, it's so look, it's more portraiture than, it's not like Michelangelo going to the marble quarry at Carrara and getting a big block of marble and not knowing what he's going to sculpt, but God tells him what to sculpt and he channels it. He doesn't know. He's not saying, oh yeah, let's do a fucking Venus de Milo. That kind of CryptoPunks is like a portrait, portraiture artist. So to me, I don't see
it's not the quality of the art. That's not the issue.
It's what you said. It's the supply and demand issue. It's the pop culture elements of it, and it's the status element too.
Yep.
The prestige, and those are all viable things. I mean, people want to put a Renoir on their wall too for the prestige. So when their friends come over, they're like, "Holy shit!" I remember I had this friend in Atlanta. I don't want to say the name, but very, very well-to-do family, probably maybe the richest family in Atlanta. And I'd go over to their house and, I had a grand piano in the living room and there was a little fucking Degas sitting there. And I was like, oh, wow, that's nice. But with people like that, you never go, holy shit, a Degas. You're just like, oh, that's nice. It reminds you of one I saw at the Orsay, and then, so we go into the TV room and the wall's covered with Modiglianis and Picassos Degas. I mean, just paintings that you see like in the Metropolitan Museum of Art or the Smithsonian.
That's incredible.
And they bought them all in the 20s and, for like nothing.
That's
and so
awesome.
Each one's probably worth like, $1 billion now. But so to me, art has that element of scarcity. And I think NFTs can get there too. I just don't know. There's not really the big story behind the creation process. And to me, that's what's important about art is, artists don't, it's like we talked about with the NFTs on, how artists are always, they hate doing commissions and that's all that they were getting were commissions, design something like this because that's not art. I mean, it's not preferred art. Art is like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. And I'm going to just see what comes out. It's more stream of conscious waiting for some divine intervention to sort of guide you. So I think that's kind of the problem somewhat in the space, but it's not, I've always thought what's next in art, once you got past like, 2-dimensional to 3-dimensional and perspective and, here's consistent light sources and all those things that, made art evolve. And then in the late 19th, early 20th century, you started moving into, early 19th realism. So think Manet and people like that, then going into Impressionist, Expressionist, Monet, and Renoir and Degas and those folks. And then next it went into like, Kandinsky and Picasso's, more, I guess, Cubism and all those things that related to early 20th century. And then it went into like mixed medium and pop, Lichtenstein, Warhol, all those guys. But then what's next? You've kind of covered all the dimensions. So it got into mixed media and then it got into texture and then it got into computer art. Yeah. So, I mean, a lot of people I talk to, big artists or big art collectors, they really think the NFTs is kind of one of the next spaces in art, but the experience around it too.
Right.
So who's doing it and what is their story?
Yeah.
And, what is their inspiration? I think that's what takes NFTs to the next level. My personal opinion.
So I've got some sad news, Joe.
What?
Well, I've been keeping track. Cointelegraph has been doing the Cointelegraph 100 for the last week, and they've released, 100 through 90, 89 through 80, blah, blah, blah. They've reached number 20 through number 11, and we're not there yet.
Damn. Those fuckers.
Motherfuckers.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
A 99 and a 100. I'd even give you the 99. I'd take the 100.
Yeah,
something.
100 first triple digit, man. Why not?
There you go. There you go. I'd take it. I'd take it.
Hell yeah. So tell me about talk to everybody about this fire chart. You can see it, right?
Yeah, vaguely. Hold on.
It's on the screen. I shared the screen.
What do we got here? Wow. Wait a minute. What's our brown line on it? I've got the hold on. Let me move this.
This is the last one. It came out at 11 o'clock.
Look at the fucking whale movement.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not high yet, but that it's climbing out for these buys while everything else is hanging low. That's really fucking interesting.
So
that brown line is people. Those are trades between 1 million and 10 million. Now, caveat. A lot of big whales and institutions now break their trades up into smaller pieces to hide them. So this may be, a future rug pull and just trying to game the system by placing a large trade. But there are still plenty of whales that trade. You can see how that brown line traverses back and forth. And then you can see where sometimes those walls drop out and sometimes those walls get eaten away. But that's a pretty positive sign. It's got some ways to go, but I like seeing that.
Well, this looks like to me to be around the 10 p.m. sell-off time last night, East Coast time.
Yeah.
And then you can see what's happened since then. The buying's coming in. And this right here. So look, it looks like some big money came in right when it was bottoming out and put in a bunch of bids here at 34 to support it. And now it's steadily coming out over.
Is that line broken at 34 on the edge? If you zoom it, you know how to zoom it, or is this static?
This is static. This is on Telegram.
Sorry, I got to get you a login, and I got to get logged in. Sorry about that, folks.
Yeah.
On our dashboard at Material Indicators, materialindicators.com. The dashboard of Material Indicators, you can draw a box around any component of the chart, zoom in and out of it, capture an image of it. Draw and paint on it, the whole bit. So unfortunately, I think that support layer is gone, which, I mean, it makes sense because it's moved back up, but the brighter the red line, the higher the level, the greater the amount of volume that's at the orders that are at that spot. And you can see those big sell walls there.
These white ones. Yeah.
So,
this looks like it's intact because I don't see this blue line going to the edge. So I think that red one's still there. But you could see how it got lighter because the lighter color's hotter, right?
Yeah.
So when it was going down, you could see some new buyers popped in right here at about maybe midnight-ish and set a floor. Now, it's funny to me because usually a lot of times you'll see these floor. Is this still just Binance data?
Yeah, it's still Binance.com.
Okay. So this is the retail, basically.
Terabytes and petabytes, I guess, of data now coming in from multiple exchanges, but it's a massive infrastructure build.
But yeah, so this just on, and this isn't, so you're not going to see like Wall Street in here heavy. You might see a little bit, but to me, this is retail mostly. So a lot of, underdeveloped countries, lots of small fish. But when you see this kind of buying at the whale size level, there's a brown line. I don't know who that is. That's either professional traders that have decided, okay, the bottom's in, we're going to take the ride. Because look, it was just at 46-ish, 44-ish, and at 34. So, you're talking about 25% room to move in, the last sort of 7-8 days. So, the pros look like they're coming in because is my read.
UBS cuts Russia bond values to zero, triggering margin calls for the bank's wealth management clients.
Interesting.
Yeah. I have chosen my just real quick my 2024 candidate for president.
Yang?
No, Jared Polis, governor of Colorado. Fiercely pro crypto, has 4 exits as an entrepreneur, over hundreds of millions of dollars each. Founder of Techstars, so the Y Combinator like incubator. The only Democrat to join the Libertarian Conservative Caucus. Married, gay, Jewish, father of 2. Hugely popular, fiercely pro crypto. Moved a Bitcoin ATM into Congress when he was a congressman. Experienced at Congress, former school board member. current governor of Colorado, and just massively pro crypto. So I like everything about this dude. I love the fucking politicians that Colorado pushes out.
Colorado's a really, I mean, I do a lot of time in Colorado in the summers. I like to go climbing and hiking, and it's an interesting state because around the urban areas, of course, they're very more democratic, but they also have a Democratic Party, but they have a lot of red. A lot of Republicans.
It's a libertarian. There's a lot of libertarian there. It's a very, Western place. But also, and that's why somebody like this can get elected, right? Yeah. Like, think about this. If you went to any other state and like Colorado with the same demographic makeup and said, we're going to nominate a gay Jewish Democrat to be governor. Forget
maybe
it.
Arkansas or Texas, a place like that.
Yeah. Even Florida wouldn't win, but in Colorado, because he's also a libertarian, right? He's a social libertarian and conservatively fiscally conservative. He's just the right kind of candidate for me. So I'm all in on Paulus. He hasn't announced he's running. He has to first win governor again, but really, really like this guy.
American Information Systems, while in college, out of his dorm.
Yeah, 400 million sold, built in BlueMountain.com. 350 million. Yeah, wow. Proflowers.com.
Yeah,
another several $100 million. I mean, the dude's got the touch. Started Techstars with my buddy Brad Felt, out of Foundry Group Venture Capital. One of my favorite venture capitalists is Brad Felt. He partnered with him, and then they started Techstars. So I like it, man. I like his tech orientation. I think it can cross over to all of crypto population pretty much for the most part. He's got the libertarian credentials for the Bitcoiners. Just across the board, this guy's, I think he's got some
if he
gumption.
To my point earlier about the state, if he can sell that in Colorado, he can sell that anywhere.
Yeah.
So like you said, he's bridging the thing I talked a lot about yesterday. He's bridging the gaps between the polarized factions of America, focusing on the 80% in common and not the 20%.
You know what else he did?
What?
He gave to the primary opponents of what's the progressive crew called? The
squad?
The squad. He gave to the primary components of all of them.
Oh, jeez. That's interesting. Well,
and fucking announced it.
Well, that's how, if you want to be a centrist, and you want to recruit from, say, heavy red, that's the squad's very polarizing to them.
Yeah.
And, again, but you see I haven't heard much out of them the last couple of months. Have you? I mean, they've kind of,
and it just pisses me off every time I talk about them that they call themselves progressives, because there's nothing progressive about them. Everything is fucking antiquated, failed policies that have never worked in the history of the world. And
it's overly idealistic. Yeah.
It's just a bunch of, it's like I'm looking at a bunch of 14-year-olds running for office. Well, I don't get it.
They're in their own bubble. They're selling to their own people.
Yeah.
And
I get it.
It doesn't cross over to other sides. That's why, I think you have to be a centrist. I mean, I don't think that you can just come down so hard just on your side of your supporters. You got to bring people in. I mean, I think that's the problem the Republican Party has right now, is that, people are leaving, or their messaging only hones, well, not all the Republican Party, but I'm saying one segment of it. And, it alienates everybody else. You have to talk in ways that, where you bridge gaps.
Yep.
And I think this, I actually kind of don't, the squad doesn't really bother me, because I like the symbolism of people that look like that in Congress.
Sure.
But because I believe that we're an aspirational society around the world, and that people should know they can come here and that they can do things like that. And,
I like that.
But, it's kind of like what I was, an Obama fan, was just because, it just sells the American dream.
Yeah, I just wish, I think they just have too much freaking power, is what bothers me in the Democratic Party. And that bothers me a lot.
Yeah, well, it depends. See, also,
it's the same in the Republican Party.
The
extremes have the most power.
But you know, so it's interesting. So you got the squad going, but then you also have Elizabeth Warren going, and she's polarized the hell out of people constantly. But she's always taken on like the big banks and stuff like that, in crypto and everything else to do with money. You know, advocating some. I think she's smart. She's bright. She has her constituents, but I think that
she's just playing a game.
She's not. Look, I mean, the squad people kind of almost seem pure in message to me.
Exactly.
And I think Elizabeth Warren is, you know, she's a politician.
She just wants to look like the hero. And I'm fighting for the little guy when she's totally full of shit.
And I've never forgiven her for when I found out that, I mean, not that I've never forgiven her. I really don't give a shit, but that she claims that she's, you know, Native American on her, like, I think her Harvard application or something like that, wherever she went to school. And I'm kind of like, how in the hell? That's like, I don't know. That's like me saying I'm a person of color.
All right. We're going to have to start a political channel. This one's my fault. I got us back on this.
Yeah. Sorry.
And now we're going to have to start our own political podcast because, you know, actually we could probably rant on that for a couple hours every day if we wanted to.
Then I'd be getting nothing done. I'm already getting nothing done.
Me too.
And then I'll be getting less than nothing done. But, you know, look, it's,
you know what? We're going to launch a show with you and I don't know who. We'll find somebody.
Oh, you wouldn't be on it?
Oh no, I'll be the moderator because I'm so reasonable.
Oh yeah. But I like the counterpoint thing that we get going.
No, I'm just kidding with you.
I think it works pretty well.
I do too.
But you know, look, we talk about this stuff sometimes because this affects crypto.
Yeah.
And you know, if it's the Ukrainian-Russia war, it affects the U.S. stock markets and other markets, which then affects crypto.
Yep.
Fed affects crypto. It affects the other markets first, then it affects crypto.
Yep.
Politics, you know, affects the other markets, then it affects crypto. And we're evangelizers for crypto. We think I think it's the future of commerce, that corporations and banks can just make more money. And why wouldn't they? And I also think it's a wealth creation opportunity for those that don't have anything. So instead of, you know, being victims and doing fucking trucker convoys to try to shut down DC and stuff like that, you know,
Here he goes.
Which to me is a total waste of time. You know, study some stuff and learn and, you know, do a little investing and figure this out. I mean, we didn't just show up knowing how to do it.
Yeah.
It took a lot of trial and error and a lot of messing up. And,
that's
you know, and that's the only way you learn. So, you know, to me, you can take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your future generations in productive ways. And, you know, shut the noise out and just focus on you and your family. And don't be, you know, lemmings being led off the cliff. Basically, it doesn't work for you long term. So that's just my thing. So if I feel like I'm attacking everybody, I might be a little bit, but I think that there are ways to fix these problems. And I think crypto can be a big central tenet of how we fix those problems.
Absolutely.
And so that's why I encourage people to do it wherever you're coming from. If you're coming from, you know, I don't know if you're coming from the urban city in areas where they're poor and downtrodden, or you're coming from poor rural America. This is how you fix it. Everybody's got an internet connection pretty much, I think, these days. Do it on your phone, do it on your tablet, do it on your laptop. I mean, you can do it from anywhere. Just got to study it a little bit. And, you know, don't invest it all in one thing. Play it smart, learn. That's just my theory. So that's why the politics and the geopolitics and resources and everything crosses over, because it directly affects what we're doing.
Sure.
And we just want to share that alpha with everybody. And, you know, again, as I say, I'm not right 100% of the time. You know, Brad's not right 60% of the time. But, you know, listen to other people too, not just us. You know, that's good. I mean, people, I'm fucking with you, but people have shit to, you know, say. So listen to everybody, read everything you can. That's the only way you can figure stuff out. It's not putting your head in your Facebook feed and, you know, watching all that useless shit. It's like actually reading stuff from, you know, people that try to present a cogent argument, not just the red meat. Although the red meat can be fun sometimes, don't get me wrong. So if anybody's offended by the shit I say, you know, keep listening to me, but listen to other people too. Form your own opinion somewhere in the middle of everybody's opinion and go from there.
That works, man.
So I got a hard stop. I got to do a 1:00 call. So
all right, man. Have a great afternoon. Thanks everybody for listening, watching, tuning in, sharing, tweeting, liking, blah, blah, blah. Please subscribe in your favorite podcast app or on YouTube. Click the thumbs up so you know when we have a new episode out. I promise everyone will get both today and yesterday's episodes shortly in the pod feed that didn't get it and on YouTube. Well, it's already on YouTube. Please, if you get a chance, write a review on Apple iTunes or on YouTube or wherever else you get your podcasts. We appreciate it. We love you. Have a great afternoon.
And finally, everybody, let's remember what's going on in Ukraine.
Yeah.
And, go move some USDT to Kuna Exchange and sell it there. Help these guys out.
Yeah. Let's keep in mind that there are real human lives there. Real humans being murdered in the Ukraine. And also remember that the conscription Russian forces probably don't want to die and not get home to their families either. So I think good thoughts for everybody involved, and hopefully this thing ends soon.
Yep. All right, everybody. See you tomorrow.
Take care, Joe.
Talk to you 15 more times today. All right, buddy.
See ya.
Bye. Cool.